Stormwater management has evolved over time to provide higher and higher levels of service. But green infrastructure is more than just an adjustment of existing common practices. It is a paradigm shift, and not without its challenges. In communities where green infrastructure has not been commonly practiced, there are a number of misconceptions about it. We'll cover some of the most common questions that people have about green infrastructure. We'll also cover some of the implementation challenges that have been faced and overcome in municipalities that have committed to widespread green infrastructure implementation. Will this really work? Cities like New York, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C. are investing billions of dollars in green infrastructure and seeing results.
Yeah, but will it work here?
Most communities will want to see local demonstration projects to prove that it will work in their area. But there are enough examples already in different soil conditions and climates, including cold ones with lots of snow, to show that with good planning, design, and construction, it can work almost anywhere.
Is this going to be more expensive?
Studies show that green infrastructure can be cheaper than gray. Philadelphia is saving an estimated $5.6 billion over 25 years by investing in a combination of green and gray infrastructure instead of only gray. Costs also go down as implementation gets more widespread.
Why take a risk on a new technology?
Current stormwater management systems are aging, and many weren't designed to accommodate today's storms, much less treat for water quality. People are being flooded and urban water bodies are deteriorating in quality. Action is needed to reverse this damage. Once cities overcome the initial hesitation and decide to invest in green infrastructure, they may encounter some additional challenges. Here are some common questions that come up.
Who's qualified to do this?
When implementation is new, there may be a lack of local capacity to plan, design, build, and maintain the green infrastructure practices. Outside experts may need to be brought in, which can increase costs in the short term. Initial demonstration projects can be used as an opportunity to provide training and build capacity among municipal staff and contractors. Ultimately, many cities create or adopt training and certification programs to ensure that green infrastructure is built and maintained to the right standards.
Whose job is this?
Green infrastructure requires municipalities to break down silos. People in different departments and different disciplines have to work together. Engineering, public works, transportation, and parks departments, among others, all need to collaborate. A formal green infrastructure task force with high-level representation from different departments can help to facilitate this collaboration, as can a staff person whose role is to coordinate the different departments on green infrastructure implementation.
What are you doing on my street?
While municipal buy-in is important, equally important is community buy-in. Most people don't understand much about stormwater management and how it works, and even less about green infrastructure. Community members need to be engaged to understand the benefits green infrastructure will have for them, so they will support this investment and also take action on their own properties.
How are we going to fit this in?
There are often physical constraints like underground utilities, high groundwater or bedrock, and low infiltration soils that can make green infrastructure implementation more difficult. A citywide green infrastructure strategy can help identify those areas which might be the easiest and most beneficial to install green infrastructure. But even in challenging situations, there are usually workarounds and many case studies that provide examples of how this can be done.
So how are we going to pay for this?
Many cities lack funding even for regular maintenance of existing stormwater infrastructure. A dedicated stormwater user fee can provide funding for green infrastructure as well as gray infrastructure maintenance and upgrades. Community engagement and outreach can help ensure that the public understands the reasons for the fee and won't label it a rain tax.
How will we manage infrastructure on private property?
Often, the best opportunities for green infrastructure are on private property. However, it can be a challenge to get green infrastructure installed and ensure that it is properly maintained on private lands. Some cities provide construction grants as well as ongoing discounts on stormwater fees and require long-term maintenance agreements with property owners attached to the deed of the property. With any new approach, there will be challenges that go along with the many benefits. For cities just starting out with green infrastructure, the good news is that there are many places within Canada and outside it that have been implementing green infrastructure for years and have many lessons to share. In the next videos, we'll look at the policies and programs these cities have been adopting in order to transform their urban landscapes.